a half-mile mark in the Gold Cup. Feet on Flames is on top by 3/4 from Wally. On the outside, Peace Angel traveling smoothly between horses is Fire One. On the inside, Peace and Voice traveling smoothly as well. Shilly is going quite smartly on the outside. Zoning is right there. Then comes Waltzing Storm, Solid Gold. Then comes 30 Quill. Talk about Lucky and Foxcoat. That's the order as a race up towards the 3-furlong marker. In the Gold Cup in front is Feet on Flames being overtaken now by, on the outside, Wally. Wally on the outside strikes the lead from Feet on Flames. Fire One is in the hand, so too is Peace Angel. On the inside is Shilly. They all have a lot to do. Zoning, Waltzing Storm is coming with a terrific raffle. We're just under 2 furlongs to go in the Gold Cup. The leader is in front is Wally. Then on the inside is of that is Feet on Flames. Here comes on the outside Waltzing Storm between horses is Fire One. That's the way to turn from 30 Quill between horses as they come deep stretch. On the inside is Fire One. 30 Quill between horses. On the outside is Waltzing Storm. Fire One on the inside, but it's going to be 30 Quill for the 2003 Gold Cup, finishing extremely fast. On the outside is Zoning. On the inside, 30 Quill wins it from Zoning. Then comes
Golden Flashback. A look at those Gold Cup races that we just can't forget.
The time is now 7 p.m. Time for the CBC News Night. This time check is brought to you by Fruiter.
Hello, I'm Lisa Lord with News Night, and we have loads to unpack. Tonight, another feature being added to the Grantley Adams International Airport as the upgrade of the facility continues. Barbadians are seeking out gun licenses in the face of increasing crime. The Productivity Council is closing, leaving more than a dozen jobless. The fish market over at Oystons to undergo a major transformation. And in sports, rain dictated the proceedings today over in Grenada, forcing a washout of the third one-day game, the Windies versus England.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC News Night, starting now.
And in our top stories tonight, continued developments at the Grantley Adams International Airport as efforts move apace to turn it into a truly world-class facility. The Minister of Tourism has just launched the newest upgrade, and our Shane Jones witnessed the proceedings and joins us live now from at the airport. Good evening, Shane.
Hi, good evening, Lisa. Well, what I can tell you is that the upgrade to the airport, they are 3 brand new gates. Gates 13 through 14 at the Grantley Adams International Airport. And they are especially designed to reduce the congestion, as well as they are for the air-to-sea and the sea-to-air passengers. The cost is about $1.2 million. And if you're wondering where that money is coming from, I want you to cast your memory back to November 2018 to be specific. Our reporter Rianne Phillips, she was the one that covered that story when it was revealed that the CDB, they approved a loan for the rehabilitation and expansion of the Grantley Adams International Airport to the tune of just over $40 million US. And now at the time it said that it was going to, the entire process would take about 26 months, and the Grantley Adams International Airport itself, they were pledging just about $17.3 million. That would be their contribution. Now let's go back to these new gates, gates 14 through 16 at the Grantley Adams International Airport. It's not just going to be that there were the gates that were just opened and then that's it. Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Carrie Simmons, he was on hand and he cut the ribbon. He is adamant that the Grantley Adams International Airport will be a hub of commerce. Now he's saying that there are plans afoot. They're going through, management is going through some proposals to have some food and beverage concessions and some craft set up and those new gates, because he believes that when you come to the Grantley Adams International Airport, you must be able to see, taste, feel, smell Barbadian culture. From the moment you get in the airport, you must know that you are in Barbados. So he also says that the average Barbadian entrepreneur must feel like they can make money at the Grantley Adams International Airport. He says it's gone on for far too long that the average Barbadian was shut out and shut off from making money here at the Grantley Adams International Airport, Lisa. So that's a big story here tonight. 3 new gates at the Grantley Adams International Airport. Now, in another story, Tourism Minister Carrie Simmons also speaking, he said that government was moving forward with divestment plans for the Grantley Adams International Airport. He says that private sector people, they were being sought out to help with the expansion of the airport. Take a listen.
I believe that within the next 6 months, we should have been able to have completed, for example, a new master plan for the airport, and we should be on the road thereafter to identifying, by way of the international bid process, the new operator of the airport. That process, ideally, ladies and gentlemen, may take us between 12 to 14 months, depending on how nimble we are. Time is of the essence as far as the government is concerned, because we want to make sure that the airport is in maximum capacity to have maximum operational efficiency as soon as possible. And therefore, it means that we have to get on with this process and get the divestment up and running and fully operational.
And Shay, we understand, we want to know what the feedback has been like thus far.
Okay, in fact, Tourism Minister Kerry Simmons, he shared a story that a visitor to Barbados, someone who's been traveling to Barbados, they sent a message saying that they had their best ever experience at the Barbados Grantley Adams International Airport, and they had been traveling to Barbados, to and from Barbados for the last 25 years, and in this year they had their best experience. So I guess the upgrades, people are noticing them, people are seeing them, and they are taking full effect. That's it from the Grantley Adams International Airport. Lisa, 3 brand new gates here at the GAIA. Back to you, Lisa.
Looking good, Shane. Thank you so very much. Well, the current crime situation is forcing Barbadians to think about their personal safety, and they are making approaches to see if they can acquire licenses to bear arms. And this was revealed by Attorney General Dale Marshall at a Barbados Labour Party St. Joseph branch meeting. Our Kishmar St. Just has the details.
It appears more Barbadians believe they need a licensed firearm to protect themselves in the face of ongoing violence against people involving guns. However, Attorney General Dale Marshall remains confident in the abilities of the Royal Barbados Police Force to fight this type of crime.
I know that the police force, given the opportunity and given the equipment and the resources, and we are giving them those things, will get to the bottom of this. It doesn't happen overnight, though. It took years to reach this point.
According to the Attorney General, Barbados has moved from dealing with an upsurge in burglaries to drugs and guns. He says authorities must prevent these illegal weapons from entering the island and take those already here off the streets. He is reminding citizens that they have a part to play to achieve this.
All of us have a vested interest in helping to root this out. Now, that may cause some of us to clash with a neighbor, because you may know something and you may be wondering if you should tell the police. I'd rather you tell the police now than wait until somebody in the community gets injured, maybe yourself, and run and play you going and tell the police then. We all have an obligation to each other as citizens of Barbados.
Mr. Marshall has criticized a video circulating on social media, allegedly showing a youngster posing with high-powered weapons. This trend is one that troubles law enforcement officials here in Barbados.
Guns of that size and in those numbers are not coming into Barbados in a little postal packet. They're coming in huge shipments. Huge shipments. There are some things that in our National Security Council, when they get a briefing, I usually leave it a headache. But suffice it to say that the reports that we are getting are not comforting.
The AG also says he wants an end to murder accused being freed while they await their cases to be heard in the courts. Kishmar St. Just, CBC News Night.
And thank you so much, Kishmar. Well, a minister has come out in defense of the government in the face of criticism that the Mia Amor Motley-led administration has no clear growth strategy for the island. Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment, Marcia Cattle, says the Barbados Labour Party has made it clear that growth is needed for the country to recover from what she labelled the lost decade.
A real growth strategy is not words. A real growth strategy is a plan that connects. It is not just saying that we should export more or urging us to be more productive, but it focuses on how. It focuses on taking the right steps in the right order. And of all of the things that are very nice to do, what is it that we have to do now?
Minister Kettle says that government's growth strategy includes 7 steps, some of which have been implemented already.
We're doing a couple now, and that we have more that we are planning to do shortly. But the order is important. We cannot go for growth when there's no foreign currency in the central bank. So we had to build that first. We had to put the dollar in a safe place first. And so last year was necessarily about building up the reserves, which in 9 months have more than doubled and are now almost 3 times what they were then.
Well, more than a dozen employees will be jobless when government closes one of its entities at the end of next month. The decision to close the Productivity Council was based on the results of an electronic survey, which formed part of Phase 2 of government's economic restructuring program. Our Sharika Griffith reports.
After more than 25 years, the Productivity Council, located here at Baobab Towers in Warrens, will be closing its doors soon. But Labour Minister Colin Jordan has given the assurance that it will in no way diminish government's focus on improving productivity in Barbados.
We've asked questions, and the Barbadians and there were quite a few thousands of Barbadians who responded to that online survey, and they indicated to us that while we needed to focus on productivity, it could be better done, more effectively or more efficiently done in a different format. The focus on productivity continues. That focus will now be a part of the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment.
But Executive Director of the Council, John Pilgrim, believes the move will not augur well for growth in Barbados.
It is true we talk about fiscal measures to cut costs, and that's important. But at the same time, we must have in place a growth model, a growth perspective that has productivity as one central theme going forward.
According to Mr. Pilgrim, approximately 15 people will be affected by the closure of the department at the end of March. Minister Jordan says they, like all workers who have been retrenched, could be rehired under government's modernization program. He says there will also be opportunities for training, which could lead to re-engagement in new areas. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Meantime, the Ministry of Labour is seeking to get a better understanding of the everyday realities facing workers in Barbados. Over the next 6 months, Labour Minister Colin Jordan and several ministry officials will be touring businesses across the island. Today, Minister Jordan toured several businesses in the Harbour Road area, including Oran Limited. He says this first-hand look will allow him to make more informed decisions and statements.
We thought that at the policy and at the leadership level, we actually needed to come out of the office and to come into workplaces where workers actually operate, and see for ourselves the conditions that they would be experiencing, and maybe have a greater capacity to speak to certain issues when issues come to the fore. And it could also give us the ability to speak to issues that may not yet have come to the fore, but that we would have seen as we toured various workplaces. Today is
Well, we've got some pretty exciting stories coming up when we check in with our Lisa Broom to see what's trending in the social media corner. And then a bit later in sports, rain prevents play in the third one-dayer over in Grenada. Stay with us.
Smart have items to sell? Then we have the solution for you. Stall spaces are now available for the upcoming CBC Marketplace. To reserve your stall space, call us at 467-5465 or email marketing@cbc.bb. Deadline to book is February 28, 2019. Reserve your space today.
And we say hello now to our Lisa Broom in our social media corner to tell us what is trending. Good evening, Lisa.
Hi, good evening. Thank you and welcome to this new segment. We're calling it, like you said, What's Trending, and we're going to take a look at what's popular or what's being widely discussed on social media here in Barbados or across the globe for that matter. So tonight we start with some reaction to the news that motorists who are involved in accidents where street lights are damaged may have to pay to replace them. Now, that announcement was made recently by Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strachan, who says the burden should not be on the taxpayer. And of course, there is reaction on social media. It is mixed, though, in our Facebook community. Lenora Cumberbatch and Judy Kinch think it's a good idea. Gerald Matthews, on the other hand, well, he suggests that the motor vehicle insurance should cover the cost. And Violet Lenham goes a step further. She's asking, what will be the punishment if the motorist has no insurance? Well, I'm just going to leave that one to the experts to answer. Perhaps they can tell us. Now, I know that sometimes it may seem as though only negative stories about the youth are highlighted. We hear it all the time. But of course, we know and we put it out there that there are many good and positive young people who are doing great things. So take this young man, for instance, who in his own rhythmic way is encouraging his peers to get an education.
On a morning, wake up with a plan. They have to brush to space your hand for a bathroom and brush your teeth. So this is more than dirty. My daddy earbud, mommy earbud, to put breakfast on the table. My baby low like a table. They teach me all at my table. That's for school charger like me. This one for school charger like me. The school learn to be don't see. The school learn to be don't see. That's for school charger like me. This one for school charger like me. The school learn to be don't see. The school learn to be don't see.
So you can learn at school?
Yes, please.
All right. So you heard him, a catchy tune and some really good lyrics. Try and go to school and learn. Now, many of you would remember Grenadian artist Mr. Killer, whose song Roly Poly was a major hit back in the day. Now, he's back with another one, which is encouraging people to pick up something and run with it. Partygoers have been responding by doing just that. They've been picking up a variety of things, including a fridge, a 100-pound gas cylinder, a dog, security barriers, even other fete goers, and we're also hearing a pot of corn soup. It's actually prompting authorities in Trinidad and Tobago to issue this warning. Take a look.
And finally, we wanted to address a situation that has been engaging the TTPS in recent times. We have a lot of party goers and vendors making several reports to members of the police officers who are on duty at various all-inclusive parties on various events, where they're indicating that their rights are being violated as it relates to a particular song that is playing. The song, has the lyrics in it, pick up something. And based on that, when that song is being played, we understand that persons go into what you call a frenzy. So what we're asking party goers, in your enthusiasm, the song is a nice song and persons are very charged about that song is playing. We are asking persons to please be mindful and do not violate the rights of others. We had reports such as there was a vendor, corn soup vendor, and they pick up his corn soup apparatus and they left with it, and it was not returned. Now, if that was not returned, that means that that person's property was taken away permanently, which is one of the ingredients for larceny.
Wow, some serious things there. And of course, you know that social media always wins. There is a permission form making the rounds on social media. And you know that Barbadians, we don't like to be left out. So the trend has reached over here as well. Let's take a look at this clip. Well, that's all the time that we have tonight for Watch Trending. So we're going to encourage you to visit our Instagram page. We're at CBC News Barbados, and our Facebook page as well at cbcnews.bb. We want you to share your comments and views, but remember, please, they are public forums, so keep your comments clean. And don't forget, if you have a fun or interesting picture or video to share, send it to us via WhatsApp. The numbers are 233-7388 or 233-7555. There's also email. Send it to nca@cbc.bb with pick of the day as the title of your email for a chance to be featured on our social media. So I'll see you tomorrow for another look at What's Trending. Lisa?
Thank you so much, Lisa. That video with little Saffron really does warm your heart. Always wonderful to find out what's going on out there. Well, just ahead in sports, the spectators were singing Rain, Rain, Go Away today in Grenada. And then a bit later, the fish market over at Oistins to undergo a major transformation. But of course, first, here is that tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
There is no safe amount of alcohol when you are driving. Impairment starts with the first sip. So if you are planning to drink, be sure to have a designated driver. This tip is brought to you in association with the National Council on Substance Abuse, promoting drug awareness.
Bronze Mega Ball, 30,000 Silver Mega Ball, 40,000 Gold Mega Ball, more and more you're winning. Put down another dollar and then you win, you holler. That's how you triple it with the Mega Ball.
Do you have items to sell? Then we have the solution for you. Stall spaces are now available for the upcoming CBC Marketplace. To reserve your stall space, call us at 467-5465 or email marketing@cbc.bb. Deadline to book is February 28, 2019. Reserve your space today.
We're looking forward to waking you up bright and crispy from 6 o'clock right here on Morning Barbados. We have a lot to talk about. We will, of course, share more on reaching those 2030 goals on renewable energy together. We're taking you along for the ride. And we get in as well to the 411 on the GYN. We continue our conversation as we examine breast health and the importance of being aware of your body. And 2 South Africans tell of their road through Barbados. You'll hear all about that, so we're looking forward to sharing that. And of course, being well from the inside out with the help of dietitian Esther Selman. That and much more on the Tuesday edition of the show. So please join us.
And Damien Best is here now with our first look at sports. And Best Man was looking forward to watching some cricket, but the weather obviously had other plans.
Definitely so, Lisa. And in Grenada, of course, they needed some water, and they got plenty of it today. They've been having a bit of a dry spell over the past couple of weeks. It's welcome, but for cricket fans, not so much. The third one international between West Indies and England, well, that was abandoned without a ball being bowled because of persistent rain in Grenada. The match was due to begin at 9:30 a.m., but a shower meant the toss did not take place until 10 minutes past 10, with England captain Owen Morgan electing to field. Further rain prevented play, and the game was called off at 2:40 p.m. The 5-match series is tied at 1-1. Well, some pretty good news for the 4th and 5th ODIs. All-rounder Andrew Russell has been recalled to the West Indies squad in place of the injured Kemar Roach. While a knee issue might limit Russell's bowling duties, Chief Selector Courtney Brown believes that his batting at the death would be an asset to the side. Russell was recently playing in the Pakistan Super League for Multan Sultans. but he was set to join the West Indies squad today. Since 2015, Russell has played just one ODI. That was against Bangladesh in Guyana last year. Russell's return also means West Indies could field a full-strength side in the lead-up to the World Cup in England. Well, the fourth ODI will take place in Grenada on February 27th, while the fifth will be held in St. Lucia on March 2nd. Well, after imposing a stunning defeat on England in the Test series, the Windies are locked in a battle against the visitors in the 5-match ODI series. England are currently number 1 in this format, while the West Indies are sitting at number 8. So the question is, can the Windies also beat the English in the ODIs? Here are two fans who think the Windies can get the job done.
But the order were really tough, and well, Chris Gill back in the order. Shea Hope, number 1. Scoring runs, everybody out scoring runs. And when it comes to bowling really tight, and when it ready.
I think they would have a good chance, because with Chris Gale back at the top, and he seems to be putting a very serious commitment to doing well. And I think that would have at the top of the order. And Jason Holder, presently number 1 all around the world, bowling well, came back in the second game and we moved the bottom order with 3 quick wickets. So they think that the team spirit, I find that there's the upliftment in the team spirit of the guys, and everybody seems to be pulling together. And they believe that with that commitment and the fact that the bowlers need to probably hit the lines a little better, I think that the bowling can sometimes go for runs, but the batting is in good order, and they believe that with good leadership from Jason, we can overcome England this time.
Good to hear from the people on the outside. Well, some football news next. Clayton's Colotonic Notre Dame sent defending champions Weymouth Wales crashing to their 5th defeat of the BFA Premier League season last night at the Willie Astro Turf. Playing in the feature match of a triple header, Dames defeated Wales 2-1 to move to 3rd position in Zone 1 with 17 points. But despite the loss, Wales remained top of that zone on 23. Meanwhile, second place UWI Blackbirds had to share points with Britain's Hill in a 2-2 draw. Then in the top of the table, a clash in Zone 1. BDF Sports Program defeated Empire and joined the Blues on 32 points, but they have a superior goal difference. Opening fixture of a triple header in the Premier League. UWI Blackbirds battling Britain's Hill in red. 49th minute, Blackbirds with possession. Britain's Hill with a sizable hole in defence. Shamari Mark will have a slice of that cake. Oh, how sweet it is. 1-0. 54th minute, Britain's Hill compounded the scenario with this bad touch that gave Mario Hart license to shoot. Side foot, no problems. 2-0. 12 minutes later, Britain's Hill finally pull one back. UWI's defense and their keeper fall asleep. Jermaine Ford on the score sheet, 2-1. And that seemed to motivate the St. Michael Bay squad. 69th minute, free kick. Omar Archer with that size 13 boot fights for it and then rifles it home. That's all she wrote. Britain's Hill 2, Blackbirds 2. Second installment BDF Sports Program in Super White taking on Empire. Early days, 19th minute, fleet-footed Rashad Jules with the left boot. Deadly, 1-0 to the Soldiers. Empire had a couple of chances at the opposite end. The best one here, whistles by the upright. Only one more goal was scored in this encounter, and it was BDF with their names in the headlines. A minute after the halftime break, Jules with the stiff arm, 18-yard box, Mr. Dependable, 2-0. Credit to the Empire custodian, prevented a third. A few minutes later, called into action not once, but twice. The second one worth another look. Hang time was magical. Victory, though, to the boys in the government boots. More fireworks in the third game. Weymouth Wales in green play Notre Dame. Dames put keeper Omari Eastman on notice. He passes the first test. The second gets some assistance. And the third, right place, right time. Wales' response from the corner, headed off the line. Back into the mixer it goes, and Arantes Lawrence is pleased as punch. Opening goal in the 40th minute.
Second half business, 52nd. Dames operating in the 18. Azrael Crony on the receiving end. Thank you so much. We're tied at 1-1. Hayden Holligan got an early Easter present. Onside and all alone. Must score. Has to score. Does not score. 68th. How much would that cost Wales? Veteran John Hawksworth says at least a penny from the free kick. Back of the onion bag. Signed, sealed, delivered. Dames win 2-1.
Well, Lisa, that's it for now. Later in the second segment of sports, we'll have Shadia Williams' gold medal performance on her return to competition. See you then.
And I'm looking forward to it, best man. Thank you so much. When we return, we'll have business.
You know I said that I am better now, better now. I only say that cause you're not around. You know I never meant to let you down,
98.1 entertaining, interactive, trendy, dripping with music. We are music. We are 98.1 The One.
This week on It's Party Time. When y'all take a church party, instead of running around, you put them in the jumping tank to keep them quiet, yeah? What a beautiful smile. That's a Julie's Party Rental smile.
Q family, on February 28th, we are heading to Easy Pave Hardware, Low Grace in Christchurch, for another edition of Q in the Community. Let us continue to embrace the good moments with sweet music, good food, and good friends. So hop on the Q bus, get in your cars, grab your chairs, and head to Easy Pave Hardware, February 28th for Q in the Community.
A million miles from nowhere.
The Business Report brought to you with the compliments of CIBC First Caribbean. Banking that fits your life.
And we're back now with business, and Barbados continues to be a leader in the area of renewable energy throughout the region. That's according to Director of Economics with the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Justin Ram. He says that while the strides made so far have been laudable, there are still some important factors to consider.
Take, for example, solar. Of course, you have the electricity during the day when the sun shines, but what happens at night? We now have to look at battery storage or energy storage capacities. Or we also have to look at what is the right energy mix. Can you have solar, wind, or perhaps even ocean renewable energy supplementing all of those? These, I think, are areas that we need to look at. But again, it comes back to the regulatory environment and the doing business environment. How do you encourage investment in those new areas so that investors can also receive a good return on their capital?
The students of the Challoner School over in St. Thomas are a little closer to getting back into their school building following a donation from a regional bank. The children have been housed temporarily in buildings on the grounds of the 400-year-old building for quite some time now because the original building had deteriorated to the stage where part of the roof had collapsed and the school had to be evacuated. But plans have been put in place to raise funds for the rebuilding and renovations, where a number of corporate entities have been asked to help. And CIBC First Caribbean has confirmed its assistance. Already, that bank and the centre have been collaborating, where items from the Challoner Creative Arts and Training Centre are sold every quarter to employees of the bank. And time now to take a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across our region.
First up, Jamaica, where JMMB Group 7.25%, VR, JMDCR preference shares was the volume leader, with 998,000 units at $2.05 each, and they were followed by Scotia Group Jamaica Limited and Jamaica Broilers Group. In Trinidad and Tobago, NCB Financial Group Limited was the volume leader, with 8,100 shares changing hands for a value of $68,040, and they were followed by the National Enterprises Limited and One Caribbean Media Limited. And in Barbados, the West India Biscuit Company Limited was the volume leader, trading 552 shares at $23.50 each, and they were followed by Goddard Enterprises Limited.
When you've thought for a while about owning a new vehicle, there comes a time to take the next step. That's the time to apply for a car loan from CIBC First Caribbean. With low down payments and repayment plans to suit your budget, our car loans adjust to your needs, just like your car does. You want banking that fits your life.
CIBC First Caribbean, banking that fits your life.
And in international business, having a microchip inserted under the skin is increasingly the way to go, nowhere more so than over in Sweden. Now, more and more Swedes now use the technology, attending implant parties to have chips inserted to replace their national identification cards, their membership cards, and even their train tickets.
The most cutting-edge thing about Hannes Sjöblad isn't the phone in his hand. It's the microchip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is the latest advance in a biohacking technology that is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden.
We have created a new implant, which is not a chip, it's a full device where you can add different lights, different vibration, different functions. Sweden is a very tech-literate society. And I think this is the main explanation, really, why a lot of Swedes are adopting chip implants.
Swedes haven't been shy about upgrading themselves with the new version. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID or make payments. A short moment of pain not putting them off becoming part Swede, part machine.
That's the kind of day it was in business. We'll have more news when we return.
The Business Report brought to you with the compliments of CIBC First Caribbean. Banking that fits your life.
Interactive, trendy, dripping with music. We are music. We are 98.1 The One.
This week on It's Party Time. When y'all take a child to a party, instead of running around, you put them in the jumping tank to keep them quiet, yeah? What a beautiful smile. That's a Julie's Party Rental smile.
Sportsmax and CBC TV 8 have teamed up with Coca-Cola to take you to Carnival 2019 with live broadcasts of Mashal Monday on February 25th from the Hazley Crawford Stadium and Kes Tuesday on February 26th from the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. It's showtime at 8 o'clock each night. Don't miss the two biggest artists for Trinidad Carnival. Back-to-back nights live on CBC TV 8.
The Warinda Cox Fish Market and the entire Oistins area is set to undergo a major transformation. The Minister of the Environment and the Blue Economy joined MP for the area Ralph Thorne and high-ranking officials from the National Conservation Commission yesterday during a cleaning of the market where they revealed plans for a complete makeover of that area. Here's Shane Jones.
It wasn't an easy Sunday morning for these fish vendors in Oistins as they sacrificed some sales to shut down, pick down and hose down the market. From very early, they could be seen using heavy-duty equipment from the NCC to scrub floors and power wash their stalls. Both women and men came out for the cause, and it wasn't just the main market area. The boatyard got some much-needed attention as well. Member of Parliament for the area, Ralph Thorne, says the future of Oistins depends on the well-being of its fisherfolk, and he pointed out that it was a collaborative effort between the private vendors and public workers.
The cleaning that is going on in the market this morning, the fish market this morning, is a collaborative effort between the workers of the Ministry of Fisheries and the vendors who ply their trade in that market. So I am very pleased about that collaboration that's happening. Since we're here in the boatyard, I can tell you as well that this boatyard, the work on this boatyard, the cleaning of this boatyard finished just a few days ago. Again, it was a collaborative effort between the boat owners and the officials from the Ministry of Fisheries.
Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphrey, says his ministry has been able to do some work on the market, but there is much more to be done.
We want to be able to change the countertops from what currently exists to a stainless steel countertop. If you were to visit the area now, you would see deep holes within the tiles on the top. There's space where the grout should be that is clearly no longer there. It's a haven for anything negative to happen, and we intend to rectify that. We also want to be in a position to say that we've rectified the issues pertaining to the cupboards, the doors falling off, the rusted hinges, the cracks in the walkway. We want to improve the toilet facilities and so on.
The Oistins Bay Garden comes alive with its restaurants and bars at night and is a main tourist attraction. Minister of the Environment and National Beautification, Trevor Prescott, disclosed that a 3-phase plan is in place for the total transformation of Oistins.
This is going to be the mirror of what beauty is supposed to be under the Ministry of the Environment and also under the NCC. We obviously, we looked around, we see the aesthetics of the area. We also understand the importance of structural changes that are required. We know that there are a number of challenges in the areas with the drainage problems. We're going to address all of these even in the first phase of the program.
Chairperson of the Oistins Fisherfolk, Linda Harris, says the cleanup was a long time in coming.
The market was very in need of a great cleanup today. So I am very thankful for the workers here this morning at the Barbados Cross Fish Market and assisting in the cleanup.
This is a very good start here, and there's more to discuss, not only the cleanup of Oistins, right, but to help build and beautify Oistins.
The 3-phase project for Oistins is expected to begin in the coming weeks. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Thanks so much, Shane. Well, CARICOM leaders are expected to tackle the issue of transportation across the region when the 30th Intersessional Meeting in St. Kitts and Nevis gets underway tomorrow. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley is leading a Barbadian delegation to that summit. Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM David Comachong says that the heads of government are also expected to examine recommendations from a special meeting of the CARICOM Council for Trade and Economic Development, or QUATED, on transportation.
It's a very important agenda, I would say, because primary to the agenda is the issue of transportation, both maritime and air transportation.
Interregional transportation.
Yes, so the issue of this long anticipated ferry service will be discussed by the heads, and hopefully coming out of this, you know, there will be a concrete project that will manifest the ferry service. Also, Barbadians will be intrigued to hear that they will be talking about possibly reducing some of those taxes on air passages across the region.
Well, coming up next, we'll check in with Selma Green to see what kind of weather we can expect later tonight and into tomorrow.
Q family, on February 28th, we are heading to Easy Pave Hardware, Low Grace in Christchurch, for another edition of Q in the Community. Let us continue to embrace the good moments with sweet music, good food, and good friends. So hop on the Q bus, get in your cars, grab your chairs, and head to Easy Pave Hardware, February 28th, for Q in the Community.
Miles from nowhere. You can help prevent sewage issues. Use strainers in sink drains and floor drains. Dispose grease and oils correctly. Stop, think before you put it down the sink. A message from the Barbados Water Authority. For more information on the proper disposal of waste, go to www.barbadoswaterauthority.com and like us on Facebook.
One of life's simplest pleasures is sharing in the company of family and friends.
Embrace life. Embrace the moment. We at the CBC want you to embrace every moment.
And Selma is here now to tell us whether this dry spell is over. Selma, we had some rain last night. We had a little bit this morning. So is the dry spell over?
We really did, and it was much welcome, but albeit very briefly, so I definitely can't say the dry spell is over. We're going to be back to fair weather conditions come tomorrow. And the reason why we got those showers, two shear lines affecting most of the islands. The Atlantic high pressure system is still dominant, and it's going to be reasserting its dominance. And of course, coming out of that high gusty winds across the area, we had some gusts up to about 60 kilometers per hour across some islands. Warm today, as we can see from the maximum temperature, and chilly overnight. Right now it's cooling down nicely. The temperature has dropped by about 4 degrees. The relative humidity is 70%, and the winds are really still zipping across the island. In terms of the temperatures across the region, pretty even tonight. The average temperature 25 degrees Celsius, but Grenada sticks out because of those showers. It's been cooler over Grenada and continues to be that way this evening. In terms of the relative humidity, we can see that the moisture is definitely pooling across those southern islands, Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago, but pretty dry and stable over the northern islands, in particular Dominica. And the winds continue to come in from a generally easterly direction. Stronger winds in the central islands, St. Lucia, but it's been definitely calmer winds across Trinidad and Tobago, as the winds there, wind speeds are clocked at about 9 kilometers per hour. And here's a picture of what happened today. The shear line affecting the Leeward Islands, and we see the second one affecting Barbados and the southern Windward Islands. And that shear line is going to move out of the area come tomorrow. So we expect fair weather conditions, Lisa. Not many showers, just isolated showers, and it will continue to be windy. And across the northern islands, breezy as well. That shear line is going to move up, but there's going to be some instability around the southern section of the high that will bring some showers to the northern islands. Trinidad and Tobago is well affected by that shear line, so clouds and showers today. And it was fair across the Guianas, even though there's a shear line in that area as well, but it didn't affect the weather conditions there too much. Warm and sunny across most of the islands, Cuba, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, but we are seeing a shear line in the area of Puerto Rico that's generated some showers there, and a frontal system over the northern Bahamas that also brought some showers, and we don't expect any changes come tomorrow. Sunrise for us tomorrow will be at 6:16, and the sun will set at 6:07. Our first daytime high tide tomorrow will be at 2 minutes after 9, and the first daytime low a minute after 4 tomorrow. Seas will be moderate in open water. Swells are still slightly above normal, so small craft operators and sea bathers, you do need to be careful. The winds tomorrow will come in from a generally easterly direction, and wind speeds will vary between 25 and 45 kilometers per hour. And tonight we expect fair skies, few brief showers. It's going to be breezy, but we expect those showers mainly after midnight. The temperature should dip to 24 degrees Celsius once again. And over the next 3 days, lots of sunshine. It's going to be warm, and of course the nights will continue to be cool as well. And we leave you now with a final look at forecast weather conditions for the region, and then for our selected international cities.
It's party time. When y'all take a child to a party, instead of running around, you put them in the jumping tank to keep them quiet, yeah? What a beautiful smile. That's a Julie's Party Rental smile.
Sportsmax and CBC TV8 have teamed up with Coca-Cola to take you to Carnival 2019 with live broadcasts of Mashal Monday on February 25th from the Hazley Crawford Stadium, and Kiss Tuesday on February 26th from the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. It's showtime at 8 o'clock each night. Don't miss the two biggest artists for Trinidad Carnival. Back-to-back nights live on CBC TV8.
And Damien is back now with Shade Williams announcing her return to the track, best man.
Definitely so. Good to see her back and in business. Of course, remember her from the BSAC competitions. Well, we can tell you Williams finally recovering from some career-threatening injuries. She won gold at the 2019 Gibson McCook Relays in Jamaica last night. She won the women's 400 meters in a time of 52.93 seconds. That time has ranked Williams as the current number 5 in the world in that event.
There is competitor 2517, Seda Williams, the Barbadian. So,
starters ready for them.
The record 51.23 set by Stephanie Ann McPherson in 2014. As Sonika Walker goes out quickly on the very outside. She's in lane 6. Alicia Kelly of Raven Strat Club also moving steadily down the backstretch with Janelle Bromfield upright and steady to 200 meters right there with Alicia Kelly. Bromfield and Kelly. Williams, the Barbadian, trying to get into the mix. Walker starts to struggle on the far outside. Into the stretch they come. Williams now has the lead. Bromfield tries to come forward to challenge. But Sade Williams is looking comfortable and eases away to win that ahead of Janelle Bromfield and Alicia Kelly.
Good stuff indeed. Let's continue with some track and field. Make it 3 in a row as the Red Warriors Set B continued their reign as champions of the Courage and Parry Inter-House Sports held at the National Stadium recently. With a total of 760 points, they were runaway winners over Yellow Lions, that Set A, with 663. Purple Royals, Set F, took third with 635. They were followed in order by Blue Cheetahs, Set C, Orange Eagles, Set E, and the Green Falcons, Set D. The victor to Durham was Carifta gold medalist in the discus, Shanice Hudson, with 73 points, while Tafari Bishop, who is also a Carifta athlete, was victor with 65. Here's a look at some of the action with CBC's Anne-Marie Burke.
Umbrellas out to brave the heat, flags in hand to represent. Courage and Parry made it a sea of colour at the National Stadium as they held inter-house sports. And before I go into the fast lane, I want to focus on an athlete who'll be one to watch at BSAC, Tafari Bishop, as he made his move on the under-20 boys field in the 400 meters. He's one of last year's Carifta athletes, and this time around he'll be hoping to make the team yet again. But one thing's for sure, he's large and in charge at CP off the turn, and he's confidently striding, stopping the clock at 50.42 seconds. Still needs to shave off some seconds before BSAC, but looking good already. Action time now. Who's CP's fastest on the 13 girl? Let's watch and see. They're not coming at you that quickly, but we sure will get a winner in hold your breath. To the line, Janaya Edward dips in ahead of Shadea Phillips and Janaya Mears. On to the boys, and the pace definitely quickened. It was a blanket race up to 30 meters to go when Nikolai Clark and Keyshawn Griffith made their move. And the race was on. I watched Clark in purple nipping Griffith on the line. I love a close race. Competition at its best. And if you think that was close, watch it on the 15 girls. Focus in the middle of the field. Who would it be? To the line, Sierra Piggott in blue over Sheila Clark. Here these times, 13:46, 13:47, as close as it gets. So will the boys' race just be as close? 5 starters, but competition galore. Look at those feet turning over and the arms pumping. And having the extra kick when it mattered most was Eron Prescott Wiggins. Set D, that's your champion. Head of Set E's Kamani Cox and Set A's Kamari Slocum. Still coming at you fast and furious on the 17 girls, and it was Zeta Cox who was slammed the field, not even saving her scarf from blowing off could stop her. She was intent, the race was hers. Easy does it, 13:48 the time. Head of Ebony Brown, 13:94, and Abrian Bend, 13.60. Under 17 boys, 7 starters, pace like fire and charging through like a speeding bullet. No denying who was in charge of this party. Looking good with it is Mackay Griffith, 11:36 his time. Yes, you with them. Second, Kishawn O'Chillian, and third, Jaden Roberts. The big girls of the school, the under-20s, here they come with all the power as Shanice Hudson and Kian Ali will fight to the end, with Aline coming out on top, Hudson takes second, and Zaria Bob in third. and it lived up to all the hype. The under-20 boys with a full field, it brought the spectators literally trackside. And here we go, down to the line, Jeremy Hall conquers, Tyreek Hunt takes second, Tafari Bishop, he takes third this time around. The times 11:21, 11:30 and 11:34. What a day it was at CP Sports.
Well, thanks so much, Anne-Marie. We're going to end with this one. Manchester City won the Carabao Cup in a penalty shootout at Wembley yesterday after Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa defied manager Maurizio Sarri's attempt to substitute him. Now, City claimed their first major trophy as they chased an historic quadruple. However, this victory will be more remembered for an almost unprecedented challenge to Sarri's authority.
While Manchester City have won the Carabao Cup and could end up with 3 more major trophies this season, it's the losers Chelsea who are stealing the headlines, and that's because of this incident towards the end of extra time when Chelsea's goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga refused to be substituted. Let's wait to see that video in a second. Time and again, the Chelsea boss, Maurizio Sarri, already under huge pressure because of recent poor results, tried to put Willy Caballero on the pitch instead. But Kepa would not budge.
He's determined. It's a war of wills at the moment.
Sarri eventually gave up, ripping open his tracksuit in frustration.
Absolutely.
And then walking down the tunnel as if to leave at one point.
Well, he's walking away. He might be walking
No one
away
quite can work out what's going on. He eventually turned around and did come back to see the match finish 0-0, even after the additional 30 minutes. So this game went to a penalty shootout, and Kepa's insistence to stay on didn't work out as planned when he let in a weak spot kick from Sergio Aguero. When under his body, even the Argentina striker couldn't quite believe it had gone in. The young Spanish keeper did make one save, but ultimately Chelsea lost the shootout. That was the save from Kepa. Chelsea lost, City won, Raheem Sterling whacked that spot kick into the top corner. City then retaining the Carabao Cup. And afterwards, Sarri and Chelsea insisted the fracas had simply been a misunderstanding.
We don't like to speak about football. It was a big misunderstanding because by phone I understood that he had a cramp. And so I didn't want the goalkeeper go to the penalties in that physical condition. I realized that the situation only after 3-4 minutes when the doctor arrived again to the bench. And in the meantime, I wanted Caballero on the pitch, and the goalkeeper wanted only to let me know that he was in condition to go to the penalties. So it was only a big misunderstanding. Kepa was right, but in the wrong way, I think. But mentally he was right. He was able to go to the penalty.
Well, that's a wrap on Sports Night, Lisa. I understand that you used to play some football at school as well.
That's right.
True?
Yeah, many moons ago.
Yeah.
Right wing was my position.
I used to do a lot of dribbling. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, David. Anyways, when we come back, we'll take a snapshot of what is happening on the international scene.
Get a fresh hit every day on 98.1 The One, compliment Subway. Listen at 8:15 a.m. Monday to Saturday for the 98.1 The One Fresh Hit. If it's a new song or one to watch, you'll hear it right here on The One. The 98.1 The One Fresh Hit. Brought to you by Subway. Eat fresh. There's some days when you just need to get out there and enjoy the beauty that surrounds us.
Embrace life. Embrace the moment. We at the CBC want you to embrace every moment.
News on the international scene now, and Britain's Prime Minister Theresa May is insisting that the UK will leave the European Union in time and with a deal. CNN's Nick Robertson reports on efforts to try and tie the Prime Minister's hands.
There's such a difference of opinion in the public sphere, at least, between what Theresa May says is achievable, that the deal is within grasp by the 29th of March, and what the EU is saying at the moment in terms of Donald Tusk talking about that it should be now focusing on preparations to extend Article 50, that he sees it's either going to be that or a no deal, so complete contrast between him and Theresa May. In that context, there will be this sort of uncertainty that is going to feed into the concerns that people have that a no-deal Brexit, it could really happen, and therefore they want to block it. But I think best to listen to the words of Donald Tusk, Theresa May. Poles apart here.
For me, it's absolutely clear that if there's no majority in the House of Commons to approve a deal, we will face an alternative. A chaotic Brexit or extension.
And in tonight's Minding Your Business, you'll never look at wooden pallets in the same way ever again.
Minding Your Business, with the kind compliments of the Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union Limited, who remind you that you are better with us.
They say that one man's trash is another man's treasure. But here at AG's Pallet Transformation, they're turning this into this. And that's exactly what I'm going to learn today. Antonio Gibbons is the owner of AG Pallet Transformations, located at Review Road, Bush Hall, St. Michael. That's where he made his start about 2 years ago with the help of a popular social media platform after leaving a job at the Sandy Lane Hotel.
And was just doing personal training. So all this time I used to see Pinterest with all this little palette work and everything going on. So I said, you know what, let me try it. My first customer was my supervisor at the Sandy Lane. I did a queen size bed with a bed head with drawers and everything. It came out well, and then from there it was going from there. Everything just took off from there.
And while his father has been a carpenter for a number of years, Antonio says it was actually his first time ever trying to build furniture. But he says his father showed him what he calls the very basics of building anything with wood.
This is his workshop. He showed me the two main things: square, glue, screw. You know, he did that model up there for me, and I built everything off of that. Any pointers he would give me going forward.
And as for the pallets that he uses, Antonio says one of the best things about them is that the majority of pallet wood has to be pre-treated since it is primarily used in shipping. The other good thing about pallets is that they are usually generally available for free from a variety of major businesses and other sources, as long as you have the transportation to move them. But once he has them in hand, your imagination is usually the only limitation of the number of furniture pieces that can be made. From sectionals to bar stools to tables, chairs, benches, even dog houses. And Antonio also works with a friend who does upholstery of the pieces if that's what the customer wants.
A new line, living room suites, bar stools, a lot of bar stools, floating shelves, tables, dining room tables with chairs. Yeah, those sort of stuff.
Most pallets are made from pine, but Antonio says that ever so often he also comes across a few made from the much heavier Purple Heart wood. He says the only real downside where pallets are concerned is that they usually contain several nails, which take some time to remove, depending on the piece that needs to be completed. And I found that out firsthand as I helped him to dismantle some of the pallets. There were nails of all shapes and sizes just about everywhere. And dismantling a pallet is a little harder than it looks.
To build one bar stool, that could take a day or less than a day. Yeah, the hardest thing about this pallet business is taking on the pallets. That's the hardest thing. Because I have some nails that ain't coming out. One pallet I pulled out 76 nails. Yeah. Yeah, then you have to treat it, you have to plane it. Depends on what they want. Some people like the rugged look. If I'm doing like a dining room suite, I would plane the wood, make it look very nice. If you want like a natural look, I will look for the palettes with the knots and stuff, so that when the varnish and stain hits them, it will give it a nice gloss and shine. So yeah, there's a lot of preparation to have it look how it look on the finish.
And as demand for Antonio's furniture continues to grow, he says he depends mainly on social media to market the pieces. He says he's also focused on improving his skills and that he plans to get full certification at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology.
Well, the plans are to get equipment for the shop, and I'd like to get to work with hardwood. Yeah, that's another step I want to go to as well. Yeah, and just expanding the business and seeing it grow.
Now, if you'd like to get in contact with Antonio and AG Palette Transformations, just look for him on Facebook or WhatsApp him or give him a call at 696-9080. And also remember, for all your loan needs, whether small business or personal loans, just give the BWU Cooperative Credit Union a call at 436-5620 or email info, that's info @bwuccu.com. So as you can see, I worked really hard today, and right now I'm relaxing on the spoils of my labor. But that's it for this week's Minding Your Business. Remember to join us every Monday at 7:55. But for now, that's good night.
Minding your business with the kind compliments of the Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union Limited, who remind you that you are better with us.
And that is news for now. On behalf of the entire crew, I'm Lisa Lord. Thank you so much for joining us, and do have yourself a wonderful night.
You're watching CBC TV 8 in beautiful Barbados.
Sportsmax and CBC TV 8 have teamed up with Coca-Cola to take you to Carnival 2019 with live broadcasts of Mashal Monday on February 25th from the Hazley Crawford Stadium and Kiss Tuesday on February 26th from the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. It's showtime at 8 o'clock each night. Don't miss the two biggest artists for Trinidad Carnival. Back-to-back nights live on CBC TV 8.
When I heard Ola doing Bodyline that year, it was so different, you know, big band music with soca music, and it really wasn't fitting in with the regular soca fit. But I thought, you know, this was something fit for international performance, international presentation, and I love to curate parts of those shows, of the show itself, that could have an international look or a big production value. And I thought Ola performing Bodyline and bringing his dancers and the whole way he had the 50s, 60s kind of look would be important. So it was important for me to invite him as a part of, you know, the sign of the Soca Kingdom is doing things like this, and we could go into avenues like this that could actually be potential for worldwide success, which it turned out that, you know, he really made worldwide success with this song.
Give me a big give me work that. Tickly body, tickly, tickly, tickly,
inside of every carnival. Music have me whining long and I want to walk.
Everybody, stop it, stop. Hey. It's our flavor that causes my behavior, yeah. No, I don't need no saving, just keep the music playing, yeah. Everybody do the dance, so. But when the dollars start to play, and the dancers start to ring, knock up on the phone and a kick. Everybody say, shut me, in the carnival, shut me, in the bacchanal show, you hand up in the air, hand up in the air, hand up in the air, hand up. Watch me, in the carnival, check me, in the bacchanal, turn up. All the girls, put your hand on your head, start it. From the break I down, my head on one to come and jam upon me, darling. And when the sun sets on the festival of patrol, because we'll be coming. Everybody show me your hand in the air, so. The way that we just pass me like a Bollywood movie. That's right. Look how they're winding up their body. If you're blessed to be in Trinidad Carnival, wave your hand. But when the dollars start to play, when the dancers start to bring, everybody say, trust me, in the carnival, trust me, in the bacchanal, no carnival. And up in the air, and up in the air, and up in the air. Watch me, check me, hand on your head, start to work. Go the way, go the way, rest up, go the way, go the way, go the way, go.
Tell them all is stink and dirty, stink and dirty.
Turn up! If you love your children, put your hand in the air. Don't crazy, but run for your life. Don't crazy, this. Don't crazy, but run for your life. Watch your body, put your hand in the air. Keep your attention like they want to bust. No matter what they do, I don't come for them. Where they getting on like they want to. Stand up! Right now I'm feeling the tension. There's too much to mention. They take up all my attention. Say! And every time you accuse it, and all the time you abuse it, I know you cannot refuse it. What is it? I was born in a village. I know my opinion. Where all was so I'm in Judah. I was born as a warrior. With all I was. All I get done was what you put your hand in the air. They come out to bust them. They go to the bed like they want to. No matter what they do, I don't come to them. Whoa! Watch your money! Watch the dollar!
Tell them we don't afraid nobody. All of them will walk up front. Anywhere we go, we pray nobody. Tell them we don't afraid nobody. All of them will walk us stop with everybody jump. I say holy day, holy day, holy day, holy day.
We don't have a time to find them like it is so hard.
Holy day, holy day, holy day, holy day. We don't have a time to find them. Tell them we don't afraid nobody. All the bad like people, them who try it. See them with their big sing like they want it. Yes, they call me inhuman, descendant of the blue one, and this is my dominion. Holy day, holy day. I have made preparation. I have faced tribulation. This is my decoration. In the deep bush where I come from, with serpents and scorpions, just run when they see my right hand, bearing down for destruction. Bah! Afraid of no man, and no boy, and no woman, no girl, and no thing. Give me some battle and fight for my life when I hear me no say. Let them want to bust it. People say, like they want to bust it. No matter what. We don't pray nobody, all I never. Anywhere we go, we pray no man and pray. Tell them we don't.
fight them like we did total man.
To fight them like we did total man. The last one is yours. Sing it, sing it.
Hey! Ma! Now if you know you're not tired and you're not ready to go home and your voice sounds like you just drink a bottle of honey, I want the whole of Marshall Monday sound like a choir. Well, I say we are the sound and still like to play. Can you swear? How many times I stand up? We are the sound of Big Bad Soca. Big Bad Soca. Big Bad Soca. Oh, we are the sound of 100,000 coming on the road. We are the vibration that you feel when the music grows. We are the mud and the oil and we come to dirty up it goes. When the girl them wine and slide them, take it away, you can sing with me. Take a tip, take a tip, take a tip, take a tip now. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Take a tip now. I said we are. Well-produced concert, everybody don't know. And everybody have a little bit of time to feature on the show. So while all the artists just don't mash up and high catch the flow, I would like to disappoint all the combination and tell them I've got to go. Goodbye. Have to leave, have to leave, have to leave, have to leave now. I have to leave, have to leave, have to leave, have to leave now. I've got to leave, got to leave, got to leave, got to leave now. Please let me leave, let me leave, let me leave, let me leave now. All right, all right. Hands in the air if you want me to stay. What more we say? Where can you swear? Hey, how many gardens tell it? And start on Eagle Day. Marshall Monday. Everybody jump up. We are the sound of.
This one going on forever.
Beautiful Marshall Monday is. Oh gosh, this is the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago in soca. Here we go. You see me, love to play, love to jam. You see me, I always happy with my lights in my hand. I don't got no time for no worries. I don't got no time for no stressing. Love of me mind, yeah. To grow, everybody grow. One grow. I'm out to live the life. Jump around and live the life. up, put your hands up, put your hands up, put your hands up. Marshall Monday, you give me some money, yeah. You give me some money, please, yeah. You give me some money, really, yeah. I really wanna feel, so let me have my way, yeah. Cause I really feel my baby, tell me something like don't know nobody like this, but it's not like this, I like you. Tell me nothing that nobody like you. And every single time we don't show about us, we don't know. Like the sunlight and the rainfall, like the daytime and the night come, and the storm now come to come back. Please don't fall off, don't break. Let the moon now and the sky shine. Give me all now, don't have no shot. Get the boy up, so that's who's up. Till the last beat and the last cut. I really feel a vibe every time we set me right. All I know it's all the mumbling. Who brave enough to sing? And if you sing it, I mean touch them, I never wanna stop. If you was there last year, and then coming back again next year, put your hand in me, break them all up. Say, love it. Don't tell them love it. So break them all up. Love it.
Who ready? We now start. Get ready, D. Set a bong start. Give me the tempo.
Mashal Monday, live from the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Trinidad, is brought to you with the compliments of Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
Every time. Yo, Pops, is it?
Hey, come.
Oh, God.
Where you going?
Just little party vibes, you know?
What kind of thing, Sam?
Pops, you don't know nothing about no party vibes.
What? Boy, in my time I wasn't easy. Let me show you. Look at this, look.